Criminal charges against Eugene Henley Jr., a career criminal known as Big U, who used his contacts and leadership role in the Crips criminal street gang, the entertainment industry, and a youth charity to further his own criminal enterprise, an enterprise that engaged in murder, extortion, robbery, human trafficking, COVID fraud, and other felonies.
Nigga, COVID fraud?
You need to be thinking big, bitch.
What up, man? It's InkFaceTv, man. Y'all know the deal, man. Same old, man. They try to take me down, but they can't keep me down. Back at it like a crack addict. But yeah, as y'all all know, man, Big U, man, they done took Big U down. They done took Brick Baby, Loose Cannon, everybody, the whole Rollin. Not the whole Rollin, but you know, gang it. There's 19 people. 19 people that got on the list, and you know about the list. You don't want to be on the list, man. It's crazy. So we're going to do a reaction to Rap News Street Politics. Shout out Rap News Street Politics, man, for the content. We're going to go ahead and react to the content and the journalism and research he done did with this whole Big U situation and this federal indictment that's going on with a lot of the Rollin 60 Crips. So we're going to tune in, tap in, man. It's InkFaceTv. Y'all know the deal, man. Y'all like, comment, subscribe. Much love. Let's go ahead and get into this content, man. Let me shut up. Rumbling off out the mouth and stuff.
The best hood channel on YouTube. And y'all know that we had to cover this Big U indictment. Man, as we see, the whole world is blew up over this situation between Big U, Brick Baby, Loose Cannon, and their co-defendants in this investigation that the feds are calling Operation Drawdown. Now we seen
that. They got 19 of them. They got Brick Baby in custody. That's crazy. Loose Cannon in custody. And I believe Big U just turned himself in, if I'm not mistaken. But that is crazy.
19 pictures on that whiteboard. And we know, man, that's the nastiest place you could be with them people talking on the microphones and your face in the back. But you know, we got our hands on the paperwork, a criminal complaint that was given to the judge over the telephone, recounted by Special Agent Andrew James Rusa. And everybody that watched that A-Tray Gangsta Crip federal indictment, we got more of the same. We got wiretaps,
saying, man,
confidential
y'all keep thinking I'm playing, man. They be on the internet doing all this rah-rah, talking all this, you know, recording, you know what I mean, assaults and all kind of crazy man. And thinking that these people ain't watching and building cases and stuff, man. Y'all got it, man. It's wicked out here, man. It's not a game.
Informants, witnesses, but we also got murder. And we got celebrity rappers, boxers, NFL players, and NBA players. So let's jump right into it, man. So we know the feds came and swept everybody off their feet March 19, 2025. And the specific task force that did that was the Los Angeles Metropolitan Task Force on Violent Gangs, a task force that's gonna be exclusive to the FBI Los Angeles field office. Now, the key thing is when you're dealing with a task force, these dudes specialize in certain things. They have more tools. They have more fun.
They ain't got shit to do. They will hawk your ass down. That's what the fuck they got to do. They so goddamn bored. Their whole job is just to get you.
To be able to really come down on people. And the main thing about a task force is apprehension. That's how they increase their funding. And they're usually known to have aggressive tactics that go along with those apprehensions. But in this situation, we have 5 main key players that are somewhat spearheading this federal indictment. Of course, we got Eugene Henley, Big U, who also goes by the name of We all know Big Draws, but they also have names of Hannibal Muhammad, Anybody Killer, or Dave Austin that Big U could also go by. We have his right-hand man, Sylvester Robinson, aka Vay. And we have his other close homie, Mark Martin, aka Bear Claw. These 3 defendants are the ones that's being charged with the RICO. Now, next in this paperwork, we got Tremaine Ashley Williams, aka Loose Cannon.
Hold on. Sweetie! Sweetie!
He's charged with interference with commerce by robbery. Now, you know, every time they talk about interfering with commerce, it's always federal.
And Loose Cannon been on the internet doing a whole lot of talking. You know what I mean? Like, and I ain't even trying to be disrespectful when I say that. I'm just being real. Like, he be on there doing a whole lot of talking, man. Just putting a lot of business. Brick Baby too. You know what I mean? They just put a lot of info out there on the internet for the world to know, and not everything. You know what I mean? People are not supposed to know everything, man. It's not. That's not how this game go. And now look at it. You know what I mean? It's crazy.
Then we got Armani Aflahe, aka Monty. Y'all may know her as Trap Kitchen Monty. She's down on this indictment for transportation of an individual in interstate commerce with the intent that the individual engages in prostitution. We're gonna break all this down. Next, we have Frederick Blanton Jr., who went by Blanton, and Tiffany Hines, who are labeled in the indictment as participants.
Oh man, they got females and everything. They not playing. That is crazy.
Of bank fraud. Now, Zaire Mitchell, Brick Baby.
Dead homies, you got the address, nigga. To right here, right now, like y'all pulled up the last time, nigga. Niggas pull up. On the dead homies, pull up, nigga. On the dead homies, cause y'all know what it is, nigga. And a nigga play ball. Bitch, the only reason I ain't come outside, kill one of you niggas, cause I was in front of these white niggas. Dead homies, nigga. Me and the homies would have crashed, nigga. On 6-0, nigga, I don't give a fuck about none of that, nigga.
He's also in this situation. He was caught on wiretap. We're going to talk about what he was saying on there, but he's actually in some separate paperwork on this indictment. But we're going to speak on this case too. Now, the reason that this indictment came forth is because it's being alleged that the Big U Enterprise is a mafia-like organization that utilizes Big U's stature and long-standing association with the Rollin 60s to intimidate businesses and individuals. So basically, he's using his business endeavors, coinciding those with the gangbanging, in an attempt to gain control throughout the city of Los Angeles.
Get up, Craig. Come on, Craig. Come on, Craig. Told y'all.
And the crimes that they allege he committed, along with his co-conspirators, to ensure that control was...
Allegedly, that ain't nothing new. You know what I mean? We all kind of know that. You know what I mean? All that. We all kind of already know all that. Like, that ain't really nothing new. But for him to go down behind it all now, it's crazy. It just shows you how powerful the internet and people... Oh, man, this shit is wild.
Actually gained was murder, robbery, extortion, interstate transportation for prostitution, wire fraud, and bank fraud. Now, investigators allege that this whole scheme really formed in about 2008. Again, Big U got out of prison in 2004, and this is when he established all of these businesses that are being labeled criminal organizations in this indictment. But it's really said that federal investigators really put him on their radar in February 2021. And when I mean him, I mean Big U Enterprise and its associates. And those associates, of course, being from Rollin 60s, but the 6-0s were said to have been under a federal investigation since the year prior, August 2020. So everything has been in the works for about 4 or 5 years with this situation. Now, one of the first ways that they say he tried to exert control was with the popular phrase.
So they got 4 or 5 years worth of just stuff that they done built up against people, and Big U specifically. Like, that's wild. Like, man, telling y'all, man, these streets is tricky out here. It get wicked. You could be out here just think you living your best life, and they just building the case on you the whole time. It's just crazy.
That he also used in a podcast of his, Checking In. So it said that professional athletes, musicians, and anybody else looking to conduct legitimate or illicit criminal activity in LA was required to check in properly with Big U if they wanted to make sure they was protected. And it was said that he used his reputation to instill fear with acts of violence and intimidation to make sure people comply with this check-in rule.
Yeah, that ain't nothing new, man. Yeah, we all know that, man. Big U been doing all that. We all, you know what I mean? We all kind of, that ain't nothing new in the city, man. But yeah, that's wild, man. This shit is getting tricky out here, man. Everybody going down, man. It's cold. It's a cold world.
In a documentary film, he went on to say, and I quote, "You can choose not to check in, but it's going to be a problem. If you choose not to check in, you suffer the consequences." And in separate statements, he went on to say that example of one of those consequences is what transpired with Quando Rondo and his people.
Video from the scene appears to show Quando Rondo distraught while first responders move the body.
He said they didn't check in properly, and we all know them dudes from Chicago laid his cousin to rest over there by the Beverly Center. Now, he alluded to the fact that he could have changed that situation if Quando Rondo had to do what he was supposed to do, especially claiming to be a member from 6-0.
You full of shit. You understand that? You full of shit.
Now, like I said, there's hours of wiretaps of communications between all the defendants in this case. And since the inception of this investigation, more than 50 people have been physically interviewed by the folks and agreed to voluntarily provide.
Damn, 50 of them. Oh, it's bad. It's bad, man. 50 people? That's crazy. That's crazy. It's like, oh, it ain't no getting away with this one. I mean, it ain't no, oh, man. I don't wish jail on people, but that is crazy. You know what I mean? 50 people. Are they like, oh, man.
Provide information in regards to different situations surrounding Big U. So this takes us forward a little bit to 2022, where the FBI interviewed a cooperating witness labeled a CW1. He's the one who provided all the information about this whole check-in process and made them privy to how Big U is shaking people down when they come to town. This confidential witness also broke down how Big U Enterprises was the money-making gang inside of the Rollin 60s. Now, just to give some brief details on who this confidential witness is, this individual has convictions for possession for sales of narcotics in 2003 and in 2009, as well as shooting into an inhabited dwelling in 2003. This person received cooperation credit from the Central District of California as sentencing.
Showing 600,
in the prior
man? This is 600? Because y'all know 600. If y'all don't know, 600 drove by as they was raiding Big U house. And
Hey, man. It was a break-in? No break-in. What happened? Everything's good here. Operation?
Status of winds. The winds will be onshore, onshore, and you will.
Big U made some videos, you know, as he was on his way to turn himself in or whatever, you know, saying that, you know, 600 showed up with the police to raid their house or whatever. So, you know, he made some accusations towards 600, whack 100 and all that old stuff, but that's crazy. That's crazy. I mean, how do you just happen to be driving by this man's house, like, as it's getting raided and stuff, like, you know what I mean? That is weird. And then you got the badge on, you got the little security, like, it's crazy. Like, this shit is crazy, man. This shit is wild as hell.
drug conspiracy case, and Joe Biden commuted his sentence for that offense. So if this sound like your people, they some bad people. He stated that these rap artists, athletes, not only had to check in verbally, but they also had to pay a fee, which takes us to Adrian Broner. So CW1 recounted an event that happened with Adrian Broner in June 2019, where it said that AB and a couple NBA players had a little dice game jumping off, in which AB had pulled out some trick dice and whooped all them NBA players' feet in the dice, totaling a debt of $1.5 million. Oh, yeah. After this dice game, it said that Big U sent his homies to rough AB up. It said that AB didn't check in properly, and now he trying to whoop people for millions in the city. Big U wasn't going for that. So it said his involvement was really at the root of the whole situation due to him being involved in the parties, the gambling parties, dice games, little celebrity parties. He was in the mix everywhere. And it was said that he forced AB to forgive the debt that was owed to him from these NBA players. But it didn't stop there. He was paid $100,000 by these NBA players for negotiating the debt with Adrian Bronner. And it was said that these NBA players or celebrities, whoever,
like him,
will kind of have to get an approval from Big U to operate safely at these events and functions moving forward. Now, there was also another event in which Luce Cannon spoke on, and we're going to get to his old telling ass, but he stated that Big U has sent him on a mission to demand 50 racks from a celebrity rapper with the initials RR. Now, that could be Roddy Ricch.
Oh, that's in the paperwork. That's crazy. That's crazy. That's wild. I told y'all he be on there talking about all this, what he done did. He done did this for Big U and that for Big U. And oh man, it's
Could be
bad.
Rick Ross. I can't say. And he said if that rapper didn't pay, then they would look to kill a rapper with the initials by the name of MM. Now that could be Meek Mill. So we could be talking about Rick Ross and Meek Mill here. This is just what the documents are alleging. But it was said that RR dropped off the 50 racks and Big U stopped answering Luce Cannon's phone calls and didn't split no money with him. But it's for sure that Big U was out here squeezing people all the way just to operate in the city of LA. Now, the heaviest allegations in this case are from around the time that this investigation really started with Big U. And we all know the main things that bring these people out. If it's not a crazy amount of money, it's a murder, which takes us to January 25th, 2021. And at this time, Big U has somebody on his label by the name of Rashawn Williams. Now, this is the individual that 600 was talking about when he was alleging that Big U had something to do with this homicide.
Look at him looking like a damn cop. He got a badge on around his neck. Oh my God, it's crazy. It's crazy.
But we got to say, all these claims are allegations. These are the initial charging documents and the probable cause affidavit. Everybody's presumed innocent until proven guilty. We got to say that. This is the beginning of a long journey. But the fact still remains, Rashawn Williams. And with this situation, there are some similarities to Nipsey Hussle. I got to keep it 100. So it said that Big U and his business partner sent Rashawn Williams to Vegas to record some music in somebody's studio who later on became a witness in this case. Actually, 3 witnesses in this case were related to this recording studio. The security guard, the owner, and someone who acted as maybe a technician up at the studio. But nonetheless, Rashawn Williams is scheduled for the stu time and he's supposed to record a song a day. It said that he's playing with the studio time and ends up recording a diss song aimed at Big U. Now, as we know, this is the same situation.
That's where you messed up at, man. That's where you mess up at. You know what I mean? Like, come on, everybody know reputation that goes behind Big U and stuff like that. Like, you know what I mean? You make a diss song about the man and you think that there ain't gonna be some type of, consequences or repercussions or some type of, you know what I mean, retaliation or something. Like, you crazy. You playing with your feet at that point, but that's wild. I mean, rest in peace to that dude. You know what I mean? No shade thrown at that man and nothing like that. But I just think that was the wrong thing to do. You know what I mean? Making diss songs, especially about somebody like that. You know what I mean? When it comes to somebody like that, you just gonna have to like get your man. You know what I mean? Like, that's the smartest thing to do. You know what I mean? Not antagonize him and allow him to get up on you. That's just ridiculous.
What that happened with Nipsey Hussle, the diss record. What did Big U do with Nipsey Hussle? He pulled up looking to administer that DP.
Well, I ain't no rapper, I'm a scrapper. So we end up having to come talk about that. Pull up the homies, and Nip admitted it's wrong, but still there's some consequences to your wrong. I came to pick him up that morning so he can get his discipline.
He pulls up on Rayshawn Williams all the way in Las Vegas with his co-conspirator, Sylvester Robinson. Now, when they got there, this is the first time that the witness or the security guard at this establishment had seen Big U. And we all know Big U is a distinct character, so there's no way he's gonna forget seeing Big U at the studio. Now, again, what led up to this visit at the studio was the disc record that was recorded 5 days prior on January 20th, 2021. In that record, Rayshawn Williams rapped about somebody who had the...
You know he wasn't playing. He took a trip to Vegas over it. Like, you know what I mean? Like, oh, you making disc records? Okay, bet. That's 4 hours away. You know what I mean? I'm about to slide right up this 15, and I'm it's crazy, man.
Money, which the feds allege a reference to Big U. And Rayshawn Williams also rapping about being shot in the face for thinking shit funny with a .38 revolver because it leaves no trace. Now, it's not known if Big U heard this diss record before or during his interaction at the studio with Rayshawn Williams, but something made him pull up. So Rayshawn Williams had an Airbnb in Vegas, and it said that Henley and Robinson pulled up in a dark gray Lexus to the studio. And it said that the night before the homicide, Big U's phone was shown to have arrived at the Airbnb in Vegas that Rayshawn was staying at in the middle of the night. So it said that at 7:04, he was at the studio. And Rayshawn pulled up to the studio between 8 or 9 and recorded a record until about 11 or midnight. And at about 12:30 in the morning, the dark gray Lexus was no longer at the studio, but Robinson was. 12:58, Big U's phone disconnects from the cell towers. But at approximately 1:13 in the morning, the dark gray Lexus pulls up to the Airbnb. At this time, it said, Rayshawn is seen getting out the car, going into the Airbnb, and coming back out with his suitcase. Mind you, Rayshawn wasn't supposed to leave Vegas until the next day, but he's bringing his suitcase out at 1 in the morning and putting it in the dark gray Lexus. So at 1:20, the Lexus pulls off from the Airbnb. And about an hour later, 55 minutes later, 2:15 a.m., both of Big U's phones connect back to the cell tower in our reported location. So it said that the drive from the Airbnb to the location where Rayshawn's body was found would take roughly about 42 minutes. And they say it took Big U approximately 48 minutes or 55 minutes.
Man. Oh, it's bad. It's bad. It's bad. That's crazy. Oh, man. Yeah, it's ugly. That's not going to look good
from the time of leaving the Airbnb to turn his phone back on. Now, it's said that Rayshawn's body was found in a landfill in the middle of the desert off the 15 freeway, which we all know is the freeway that connects LA to Vegas. He was shot multiple times, including in the face, and his body was dragged into a ditch. And seemingly he was shot with the same pistol that he referenced in that diss song to Big U, a .38, because there was no shell casings recovered. But at this time, between 2:30 and 3 a.m., the gray Lexus pulls back up to the studio, and witness one, the security guard, reports seeing Big U drenched in either sweat or water, in which he replied that he had just got out the gym. 7 hours later, Rayshawn's body is found in the desert. Big U was out of there an hour after that, 10 a.m. Back.
Man, that's crazy. But if you was at the gym, that'll save you. You know what I mean? If you was at the gym, you know what I mean? You just, nigga, I was at the gym. You know what I mean? You better go back and go look at the cameras at the goddamn gym or something. You're going to see me in the gym. But if they don't see your ass in that gym, it's bad, man.
To LA. Now, because of inclement weather on the night of the murder, the DNA couldn't be restored. So a lot of DNA matches were coming up inconclusive for what was left at the scene. But witness one will go on to make statements to the feds and to the North Las Vegas PD about this incident. And it said that Big U ordered somebody to go get the surveillance cameras out of the studio, destroy everything, to the point where they had to send money to the studio owner to get a whole new surveillance system. And a month after this is when the feds start really forming their investigation on Big U. Now, again, for everybody that watched that A-Tray video, man, if you ain't seen it, go check that out, because it's terms that are going to be continually used when speaking on federal indictments.
They got
like
him,
the
man.
Title III, which is the formal term.
They got your boy Big U, man. It's bad. It's bad for him, man. That's ugly. That's a lot of stuff. You know what I mean? It's gonna, yeah. Just fighting that alone, you know what I mean? You don't have to sit down for a long time. You know what I mean? Years trying to fight that type of stuff, and then they got all this evidence types. You know what I mean? It's crazy. Or well, all these allegations or whatever you want to call it. You know what I mean? It's wild, man. But what's up with Bricc Baby and Loose Cannon and them? Like, how they all get involved? Like, I'm trying to figure out, like, the whole, you know what I mean? The whole get down, like, what's going on? Like, I see why they on Big U or whatever, but what's up with, you know what I mean, the rest of these individuals? Like, well, how are they all getting tied together?
For a wiretap, in which both Loose Cannon and Bricc Baby were recorded on.
You know what I mean?
So not too long after this homicide took place in Vegas, Big U is back doing the regular situation in LA, shaking businesses down. And Loose Cannon is said to be one of the quote unquote enforcers of his shakedown crew. And there was one particular spot that Loose Cannon implied that he had dealings with in a weed dispensary in LA. Now, the owner of the dispensary was charged tax every month by Big U and Big U Enterprises to the tune of some months $25,000 a month if business was booming. But that, of course, that number was fluctuating. But at some point, the owner of this weed dispensary, who is a cooperating witness, of course, decided to stop paying because he didn't see the benefit of being taxed and shook down. So Big U sends Loose Cannon and some other dudes to rob him and put that pressure on him to make sure he's paying. And at this point, once Loose and all these dudes brought the work back to Big U, he also called the owner of the weed dispensary to come to the house as well, in which he gave him his items back, but put his tax on it to make sure he was getting his money. Now, the feds allege that Loose Cannon did nothing but corroborate the witness stories by telling all of this information on No Jumper, where they said Williams admitted to the robbery and the aftermath on the podcast. He also stated that he was Big U's right-hand man and started to implicate himself.
See? Well, there you go. There goes his part. You know what I mean? That's why he's involved. You know what I mean? Like I said, Goof Troop, man, over there talking too much, man. Too much. It's like, I mean, I get it. Everybody want to go viral or whatever, but like when it comes to that hood business shit, like this shit get tricky. This shit is crazy. You know what I mean? You can't be on there saying certain stuff like that, and then you calling yourself like trying to put somebody like under a bus or on Front Street, but you low key putting yourself in a situation at the same time. So it's like you just losing all the way around the board. Like, you know what I mean? You might as well just, you know what I mean? Keep it in the streets, player. Like, 'cause this shit is crazy.
And Big U in certain crimes on these podcasts, which made Big U send that cease and desist to No Jumper and Vlad TV. The fans was watching. They seen Loose Cannon refer to Big U as Big Useless or Big Uterus. And they also have the January 3rd incident that happened this year when Loose Cannon struck somebody in the head and knocked him out with a pistol and proceeded to remove valuables from him, the jewelry, cash, cell phone, and added up everything to being over $5,000. They watched statements that Loose Cannon made saying he was Big Useless's enforcer, that he loves to fight, and that incident could have went a lot worse, implicated itself in this assault, and implicated itself into working for a criminal enterprise, Big U Enterprises. He also posted some of the fight and also spoke about how he was with Big U when P&B Rock was killed, and that they would have told him to comply with them dudes that killed him from A7 so they can bargain and get his jewelry back and tax him on the back end. He implicated himself in all of this, and we see him looking stupid, looking at his wife now, with the feds all around him. All that playing, doing too much playing on the internet. This shit not a game no more. You know, these dudes was known for fabricating situations, making up stories, and falling back in and falling out with people, doing a bunch of shit. Now people looking crazy. He also made statements online that he kidnapped a victim and put him in the trunk of his car and drove him to Big U's house. Why are we talking about this?
It said y'all was trying to kidnap him. No, that's capital. So explain that story. Wait, so how did you even come in contact with it? And I think supposedly there was a Big U portion of it.
Yeah. So basically, the security is LA niggas.
Yo, I noticed
we from
that.
Rollin 60s. So, nigga, if you gonna protect somebody or whatever, you gonna pick that issue. You just getting paid $500 a day just to make sure he good, but nigga, you gonna lose your life.
This is what ended up loose cannon on the indictment. Now it seemed that he didn't even need a wiretap. He'd do it for the camera. Bricc Baby, on the other hand, they initiated that Title III, man, and he was on there talking about a robbery. November 11, 2022, it said that Big U coordinated with Zaire Mitchell, aka Bricc Baby, on how much Zaire would give Big U out of his proceeds from a robbery that he committed. So he was shaking Bricc Baby down. All that popping it. But this is why he was still allowed to participate in hood activities and claim the hood, bang the hood, do all this. He getting shaken down by the OG. So all them dudes, Don Bonelli, everybody that was calling him out, come to the hood, that shit didn't matter because he was paying his dues. As you should. I mean, that's what everybody does. That's what the G homies is looking for, especially from these young niggas. Anybody that's gonna get on here and debate that, you ain't never seen it, man. That's crazy. This is what happens, man. Especially to the younger generation, man. We seen what happened to Sucker Free over in Lennox. We seen what happened to Money Sign Suede. Y'all go make sure y'all check our Nipsey video out. Kevin McIntosh put a copyright strike on us. Kev Mac made us take it down. He did that, told on us on YouTube, trying to protect the situation. We broke this situation down in 2021. Look what happened to Nipsey. Go see what was said in there. But it was said that Bricc Baby robbed somebody and Big U was counting out the money and said it was only 2-3 racks. Bricc said it was supposed to be between 5 and 7. But this little situation right here got him wrapped up in a federal indictment on the wiretap and paying the OG homie, furthering the criminal enterprise is what they saying. So just like we spoke on in that,
see, this y'all niggas is crazy, man. I can't wrap my mind around that shit, man. How and why do y'all get on the internet talking about this type of stuff? Like, man, I don't know. I come from a different era, man, where we were just silent about things. You know what I mean? We couldn't, you know what I mean? Like, it wasn't cool to brag about certain stuff just to, you know what I mean, look tough or, you know what I mean? I don't know. That shit is wild as hell. These dudes is crazy. You know what I mean? You're supposed to just know yourself, know what you're about, know what you're capable of, know what you know. You know what I mean? It is what it is, man. But all this on the internet, on No Jumper, trying to show the world that you super this and super that. Now you got your ass in some super max. You know what I mean? It's crazy.
Hefe A-Track Gangsta federal case where they had controlled buys with confidential sources and witnesses. Same goes here. Instead of buys, they had controlled extortion payments. So the people that Big U was shaking down, the FBI was giving them money to make sure it gets into Big U's hands as a documented payment for his extortion methods. November 19, 2021, again, not even a year after that murder, the FBI provided $500 in cash for the meeting, and victim one paid that money to Henley. January 20th, 2022, the FBI provided $1,000 in cash that victim one paid to Robinson for him. February 17, 2022, the FBI provided another $1,000 in cash that victim one paid to Robinson on camera for Henley. In one of the meetings, victim one paid Henley out of his own money, but it was documented and given to the feds on camera. And in this instance, Henley said they bumped it down to $1,500. They was taxing him a little bit more at that time in July of 2022. But there was numerous controlled extortion payments. And there was also an incident where he extorted some club promoters in Deja Vu, where at his birthday, he said that he wanted to have some entertainers. T.I. and Wiz Khalifa was supposed to pull up. He said he wanted 33% of what the bar made for the night. So after that, he calls one of the promoters And basically it's like, look, y'all put my face on this flyer. It's all over the city. My wife is tripping. I need 30 racks. Club promoter like, man, you know, maybe 20, because 30 is the pot. So I'll give you 20, I'll take 10. Big U said no, 30. Wiz Khalifa, T.I. didn't end up pulling up. Some witnesses seen him shake the club promoter in the back for that 30 racks. And on top of that, he still asked for the 33% of the bar. And of course, these demands were followed by threats. He said he'll tear the whole shit up if the demands aren't met. He said it had 5,000 6-0s in the club to tear it down. Bring me my money. So he was doing a lot of strong arming in the city. Now, somebody else that everybody is surprised to see in this indictment, including myself. We follow each other on Instagram. This has been a big name in the city for years now. Trap Kitchen Monty. She was also on that Title III wiretap. The feds intercepted phone calls and text messages between her and Big U. Now, they also alleged that Big U was smacking it. I can't say that's what's in the documents. But they were saying that she was providing women to cross state lines to do some hoeing and take care of some of Big U people in that fashion. Now, in June 2023, that federal task force interviewed her at her house. You know, she admitted to promoting prostitution, noted that she was known for bringing the home.
She considered herself a pimp. Why would you? Why would you tell? Why would you? Why would you say that? Why?
She provided females to Big U as long as they was paid. And the next day after this, she was supposed to go up to the FBI field office and let them sync her phone up to their computer to extract all the data. Now, of course, she wasn't supposed to have communication with anybody after this interaction, but they intercepted her talking to Big U and meeting with Big U. And at this time, Big U was already knowing that the feds was tapping phones. But at this time, she meets with Big U, breaks down everything that happened. And, you know, it looks like Eugene grounded her a little bit, made her pull her shit together. And she didn't cooperate anymore after that point. She didn't make another statement and didn't go to the FBI field office to empty the contents of her phone, because that would have blew everything up. But, you know, they got warrants for all of that right now. The biometrics, everything. They're trying to go through everything right now. But the reason Big U knew his phone was tapped was because a couple months prior to this interaction between Trap Kitchen Monty and the feds, Las Vegas police pulled up to Big U crib, tried to do the okie doke, saying they was new detectives working on Rayshawn Williams' case, and they just wanted to touch everybody that could know something 2 years later for the anniversary of his homicide. He wasn't at home at the time. His wife called him. And anybody know, if you ever got a phone call with somebody telling you, hey, the police looking for you, the number one question you ask, how many of them was it? That's the universal question. So the feds intercepted that call and noticed that Big U was getting wary about the phones. He didn't return home for 2 weeks after that point and started to move a little differently. But like I said, there was already hours of phone calls and what the feds are call a pertinent conversation that had meaning in relation to the indictment or the case. But you know, this whole situation right here gave them the opportunity to go ahead and look into his financial affairs, which is where they hit him with the EIDL. A lot of people's thinking of PPP. When the IRS involved, it was that EIDL, the one before the PPP that wasn't forgivable. Everybody know what I'm talking about. Don't do that. They said he got 90 racks from the EIDL under Unique Music, saying he operated with a $200,000 profit for the year when he was actually at a $5,000 loss, and got him for a fraudulent application on that. So this is where the bank and the wire fraud come in. The embezzlement. Damn. It said that he embezzled around $150,000 on 7 separate occasions, where we see in August of 2019, he got $20,000 donated to his business by an NBA All-Star. January 2020, $14,000 that he embezzled from a payment from an award-winning music publishing company. Now, the embezzlement happened because these people were donated to a business. So in this case, for example, the publishing company donated $24,000. Once they followed the money, it was seen that $14,000 out of that $24,000 was transferred to his personal bank account and being used for personal expenses instead of the business expenses that were negotiated at the time of the donation. Simple stuff. Very simple. As they try to add everything up. This is what the feds do. And it's at September 20.
It's crazy, man. He was finessing. I ain't even gonna cap. Big U was out here finessing the game, man. Shit, more power to you. I ain't even gonna lie, man. I ain't mad at you. Shit. It be hard out here. Sometimes you gotta learn to, you know what I mean, make it happen. But I think what really messed him up is like, you know what I mean, he got that reputation and then people on the internet from his area, you know, talking about him, you know, and you know what I mean? Yeah, man, that shit is wild. That shit is wild. So that's what really got him caught up. You know what I mean? He probably could have got away with a lot of stuff and just been more low key and just out the way and just doing him. But because he got, you know, people involved in his section with his name in his mouth, you know, not just them, but other people on the internet with his name in his mouth. Now, you know what I mean? It's like, it's crazy. It's crazy. And they got all this shit. This shit is wild. Like that. It's getting hectic.
21st, 2022. He embezzled $19,000 out of a $20,000 donation from an NBA MVP, former NBA MVP. And he also had a situation with ex-NFL player Willie McGinnis, who I believe is Willie McGinnis, based on a situation that Willie McGinnis had in the club at the same exact time. And the indictment is referencing somebody named WM, who was a former professional football player, where it said that this individual busted somebody in their head with a bottle at the club. Big U had to step in and had to squeeze them folks from pressing charges, getting the heat off Willie McGinnis. Is this how his son is in the NFL? I can't say. I'm not gonna go there. Of course, you got to be talented, but we see a lot of the company.
It's like a lot of these niggas out here just be extraordinary niggas. I ain't even gonna cap. Like, you got this nigga Big U, you know what I mean? Like, as far as the allegations, I ain't gonna say it's true or not, you know what I mean? But then you got people like even Whack, you know what I mean? Whack 100, you know what I mean? Allegations about him extorting people with sex tape videos and all kind of stuff. It's like this is just like a thing that these older niggas be out here doing, just extorting niggas and shit, cause they ain't, you know what I mean? I don't know. This shit crazy. But they coming down on y'all. Y'all better kick back. Y'all better sit y'all old ass down somewhere, cause they coming down on y'all, man. Everybody going down. Shit.
Big U was keeping. It's some high-ranking people, especially in LA. They also allege that he misappropriated funds from the GRID program and from the city of LA. Now, the GRID program is also that situation where 600 and all these dudes is talking about how he's working with the police. It's a gang intervention program where they do have dealings with the folks as well.
Working with the
but
police.
Clearly, if he was operating with the folks, it didn't help him none in this situation, man. When we see, it looks like 600 really is the folks. But since 2015, his company Developing Options received $550,000 from the GRID program. And between July 1st, 2018 to July 30th, 2023, he received $2.3 million from the city of Los Angeles. This is what people was talking about when they said that peace was inflated. That
finessing.
Peace movement that was happening in LA, 8 Trays, the Hoovers, whoever, 6-0s was sitting down. Is some large money involved in peace in these intervention programs. This is what was being alleged. This type of paper. You can't fault nobody for trying to get a legal bag. But when the funds are misappropriated, this is how you see a situation like this. And on the wiretaps, we also see multiple threats, many to Whack 100, where he's communicating with people stating that he needed to break Whack 100's jaw and that he needed to beat the shit out of Whack 100. There was also a situation where he described threatening to kill some dudes from Grape Street, saying he had paperwork on some of his homies in the 60s, and speaking on how he's the biggest Rollin 60 member to ever exist, including Nipsey Hussle. So, you know, this is very early in this situation between Big U and his co-conspirators. But we're going to keep providing y'all with this dope content, man. Y'all make sure y'all like, comment, and subscribe, and stay tapped in, man. Rap News, Street Politics.
Y'all heard it, man. Shout out Rap News Street Politics, man. No cap. Dope content, yeah. That shit is crazy, though. Like, what the hell's going on out here, man? Y'all niggas on the internet bumping y'all mouths too much, man. Y'all done fucked up. Now y'all all looking at charges and shit. It's crazy. It is what it is. It ain't my problem. I'm just here reacting, y'all. I don't know nothing. I don't know nothing. I don't want to know nothing. I'm just giving y'all my reaction, man. It is what it is. But yeah. Y'all let me know what y'all think about that shit in the comment section, man. This shit crazy, man. They done took Brick Baby down. They done took Luce Cannon down. They done took Big U down. You know what I mean? They got other people in there, females. You know what I mean? I don't really be knowing all these individuals. I'm not from that part of town. So, you know, I'm just giving my reaction, man. But yeah, it's wicked out here, man. But yeah. Y'all like, comment, subscribe, man. It's InkFaceTv, man. It's much love. With that being said, I'm gone and I'm going to catch you on the next one, man. I'm out. Yeah.
So simple.
Tenant low. I ain't tripping on none of these hoes. I was doing bad. Now I'm stunning. Steady eating. I ain't hungry now.